Hi guys, and welcome to another video. In this video I'll be talking to you about the Prismacolor pencils, and I'm going to give you my full opinion on them. Here I have the full 150 set. They come in smaller sets as well. I think they do sets of 24, 36, 48 and then a couple of larger sets as well. They come placed into these trays, which, as you can probably tell from the video clip, that the trays are extremely flimsy, so quite often when I take the trays out of the box, the pencils all come rolling off the trays. It doesn't bother me that much, but you do have to be a bit careful with them. The colour range is great, as you should expect from such a large set. With this set you can create any colour imaginable. Even if the exact colour you want isn't in the set, then as the pencils are so creamy, you can blend them together really easily, so you can pretty much mix your own colours. These pencils are wax based, and they lay down really creamy and buttery onto the paper. These pencils are particularly good if you want to create really smooth drawings. For example, I've seen a lot of people use these pencils for things like portraits, and they've achieved a really smooth texture for the skin. I've also seen a lot of people creating amazing cartoony style drawings with these pencils, as they can create such a smooth finish. Because they are wax based though, they can create some wax bloom, which is a thin waxy layer which appears on top of the pencil that's laid down on the paper. This can be wiped off, but it can be a little bit annoying. As these pencils are so creamy, I can sometimes find it a bit annoying because sometimes I find I accidentally blend some colours into each other that I don't mean to. For example, I might have some black next to some yellow on the paper, and it's quite easy to accidentally blend them together a little bit, which can create a dirty or a muddy colour, so you just have to be a little bit careful with that. It isn't as easy to get thin crisp lines with these pencils, as it's a struggle to get the pencils to keep a nice sharp point. They definitely don't sharpen as well as the polychromos pencils, for example, as they have much softer leads than those. Quite often I sharpen my pencils with my Derwent Superpoint mini sharpener that I always use, and they snap over and over again, which can cause me to sharpen away a lot of the pencil without actually getting a chance to use it. I know this is a common problem that people have with these pencils. Since it's such a struggle to keep a really sharp point, I don't really like drawing fur with these pencils. I tend to use these for smoother blended areas within my drawings, so for example eyes or birds' beaks or any other smooth textures found within animals and wildlife. These pencils are thinner than polychromos or luminance pencils, which make them feel a bit less sturdy, but again, this doesn't really bother me, it's just an observation that I've made. As you can see here, when I'm sharpening the pencil, you can get a very nice point. But when you draw with them, the lead wears away so quickly due to the leads being so soft that you have to keep sharpening your pencils all the time to keep the sharp point, which again can cause the pencils to sharpen away quicker, so they won't last as long as the polychromos pencils will, for example. The colour out of this set that I use the most is the white pencil. It blends colours together so well, and I often use it to burnish sections of my drawings. Burnishing is when you add so many layers of pencil onto the paper that the tooth of the paper flattens and you can't really add any more layers on top, which can give a really smooth finish. The main reason I don't use these pencils that often within my drawings is because of bad light fast ratings. A lot of my artwork I put the originals up for sale, or I create commissioned artwork so my customers will receive the original artwork. How light fast something is means how light affects the colours over time. So a bad light fast rating would mean that the colours will probably fade or discolour really quickly when exposed to natural light. So if the drawing was displayed on a wall somewhere, it isn't going to look the same after a few years. There are a few different systems that companies use to rate the light fastness of their products. Prismacolor pencils use the ASTM system. A rating of 1 is excellent, a rating of 2 is very good, a rating of 3 is good, a rating of 4 is fair, and 5 is poor. I'd never use anything below a 2 for any of my drawings which I plan to sell the original of. If you just draw for a hobby or you only plan on selling prints of your artwork, then the light fastness doesn't really matter and you could use any of the colours within the sets. If you use the low rated pencils in your artwork and you sold the original to someone, then in a couple of years' time, or even less time than that potentially, then they may come back to you unhappy that they did not get a high quality piece of artwork like they paid for. If you were to use a low light fast materials in your drawings, then if you sell the original, you should tell the customer that they shouldn't expect the piece to last that long, and that should also be reflected in the price that you sell it for as well. Luckily, the colours in the set which are the most light fast are the greys and the more neutral colours, which are the ones I use the most anyway. The colours which are generally the least light fast are the purples, pinks and the blues. These pencils are a lot cheaper than a lot of other coloured pencil brands, which is why I think they appeal more to so many people. If you're just starting out learning how to draw with coloured pencils, or you only want them for colouring in books or things like that, then I highly recommend starting out with these. In the UK, a full 120 set of the Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils would cost you about £190, whereas the full 150 set of Prismacolor pencils you can get for about £128. This doesn't sound like a huge difference in price, but you need to bear in mind that you get an extra 30 pencils with the Prismacolor set, so you get a wider variety of colours. I've only used these pencils on the Fabriano Artistico hot press watercolour paper and in colouring in books, so I'm not sure how well they perform on other papers. On the Fabriano paper they work well and they blend very easily on this paper. I've also seen a lot of artists use these pencils on Strathmore toned paper, which looks like they apply very smoothly onto that paper as well. I can't imagine they would work that well on pastel matte paper, as pastel matte wears away pencil leads really quickly, and the Prismacolor pencil leads wear away quickly enough without using them on rougher surfaces like pastel matte. You can purchase these pencils open stock as well, although in the UK they are harder to find individually. I've bought some of the Prismacolor pencils individually from the Coloured Pencil shop before. I'll put the link in the description below. Other than there, I haven't really found anywhere else that stocks them as individual pencils, but I know that you can get hold of them. In this 150 set, there are some neon colours and metallic colours as well, which are rated very low light fastness, but if you do want some unique colours, then Prismacolor do a lot of unique colours which I can't really find alternatives to from any other brands. So to recap, the pros to these Prismacolor pencils are the low price, how creamy they are, and their blendability and the huge colour range. The negatives to these pencils are the wax bloom, problems with the pencils breaking, and the low light fastness ratings. So if you aren't planning on selling your original artwork, I would say 100% give these a try. If you're planning on selling your original artwork, then maybe buy a few colours individually instead, rather than buying the whole set, as most of the colours don't have great light. If you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful, please give it a like, as it helps me to know what kind of videos you guys like watching. At the moment, I'm uploading a video every other Monday, so please subscribe if you don't want to miss out on my next video. That's all for today, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye guys!